Chosen one, I need you to listen with your spirit today because the moisture that has stained your cheeks was never in vain. Every silent drop that fell in the dark of night, every sob you stifled so the world wouldn't hear your breaking heart, and every prayer whispered through a throat tight with grief has been witnessed. You have felt abandoned in your sorrow, believing that your pain was invisible and your endurance was unnoticed. But I am here to tell you that in the courts of heaven, not a single tear has been wasted. You are a chosen vessel, and the weight you have carried was not meant to crush you, but to crush the oil of anointing out of your life. For a long time, you looked in the mirror and saw only the exhaustion of a warrior who has been in the trenches for too long. You saw the puffiness of your eyes and the weariness of your soul, wondering if the sun would ever rise on a season of joy. But even as you wept, I was collecting those tears. I have bottled every one of them as a testament to your faithfulness in the midst of the fire. You stayed loyal when you were betrayed. You stayed kind when you were mocked. You kept your heart open when the world tried to force it shut. And now, the atmosphere is shifting. The clouds that have hovered over your life are beginning to break, not because the storm simply ran out of energy, but because your reward has finally matured. The reward is being delivered to your doorstep even as you hear these words. It is a restoration that goes beyond the physical. It is a spiritual recompense for every moment you felt less than, every hour you spent in isolation, and every year the locusts tried to eat away at your peace. You are not ordinary, and your path was never meant to be easy, for the greater the calling, the more intense the processing. You have walked through seasons of lack where your tears were your only food, yet you still reached out to feed others. You have navigated the valley of the shadow of death, feeling the cold breath of fear on your neck, yet you refused to bow to the enemy's lies. Because of this, a divine acceleration is entering your life. The tears of the past are becoming the irrigation for the seeds of your future. Where you sowed in tears, you shall now reap in shouts of joy. This is not a poetic metaphor, it is a spiritual law that is manifesting in your reality right now. I am touching the areas of your life that felt dead. I am breathing into the dreams that you buried because the pain of holding on to them was too great. Watch as the dry ground begins to sprout. Watch as the people who overlooked you are suddenly forced to acknowledge the glory that rests upon you. You don't have to fight for this visibility. The light within you has become too bright to be hidden. Restoration is not just about getting back what you lost, it is about receiving the upgraded version of everything that was taken. For the peace that was stolen, I am giving you a serenity that surpasses all understanding. For the love that was faked, I am bringing connections rooted in divine truth and unshakable loyalty. For the health that was drained by stress, I am pouring in a vitality that will make you feel younger in your purpose than you did in your youth. You have been a student in the school of suffering, and you have graduated with honors of resilience. The enemy thought the tears would drown your faith, but instead, they washed your eyes so you could see with prophetic clarity. Now, you see the traps before they are set. You hear the whispers of the Spirit before the world speaks. Your sensitivity, which you once thought was a weakness, is actually your greatest weapon. It is the antenna that catches the frequency of heaven. As the reward is delivered, you will feel a weight lifting off your shoulders, a weight you didn't even realize you were carrying until the moment of release. Your nervous system is being recalibrated. The fight-or-flight response that has been your constant companion is being replaced by a deep, abiding rest. You can breathe now. The battle is not yours, and the victory has already been recorded. I am sending people into your life who will carry the supplies you need for the next assignment. You will no longer have to beg for scraps of affection or crumbs of opportunity. The table is being prepared in the presence of those who tried to diminish you. They will watch you eat of the goodness of the land, and they will realize that the one they tried to break was the one I was building into a monument of grace. Do not look back at the people who walked away during your crying seasons. They were not equipped to handle the weight of your glory, and their exit was a mercy you didn't know you needed. If they had stayed, they would have tried to claim credit for your rise or stifle the magnitude of your expansion. Your isolation was a laboratory where I was perfecting your character. Now that the process is complete, the doors are swinging open. You will walk into rooms you once felt intimidated by, and you will speak with a calm authority that silences the noise of the arrogant. Your tears have become diamonds in your crown, reflecting the light of 1,000 victories won in secret. Every drop of sorrow has been converted into a drop of power. Use it wisely. Speak life over your circumstances. Command the morning to bring forth your blessing. You are the chosen one, the one who endured, the one who stayed, and the one who is now being highly favored. The delivery is here. Open your heart and receive the abundance that has your name written on it. Every tear you shed was a signature of your endurance. You must understand, chosen one, that the heavens operate on a system of divine justice that the world cannot comprehend. While men saw your weeping as a sign of defeat, the Father saw it as a deposit into your heavenly account. You have been bankrolling your future with your faithfulness during your darkest hours. The delivery of your reward is not a random act of kindness, it is the legal fulfillment of a spiritual contract. You stayed when others fled. You worshipped when you were wounded. You spoke of my goodness while your own life felt like a desert. Therefore, the floodgates are not just opening, they are bursting forth with a momentum that will overtake every delay you have experienced in the last decade. I am calling forth the years that were stolen by grief. I am commanding the north, the south, the east, and the west to release the resources that were held up in spiritual warfare. Your tears have cleared the path. They have softened the hard ground of your destiny, making it ready for the harvest that is now manifesting. Listen to the sound of the wind shifting in your favor. Can you hear it? It is the sound of chains hitting the floor. It is the sound of prison doors swinging wide. You have been a prisoner of hope for so long, and now that hope is turning into tangible reality. The reward being delivered is multifaceted. It is financial overflow to break the back of generational poverty that has tried to claim your bloodline. It is physical healing that will defy the reports of doctors and the logic of science. It is emotional restoration that will make you feel as though the trauma of the past was just a distant dream that no longer has power over your heart. You are being reclothed in a garment of praise. The spirit of heaviness is being permanently evicted from your home. Your house shall no longer be a place of sighing, but a sanctuary of singing. I am putting a new song in your mouth, a song of deliverance that will cause those around you to marvel at the transformation. They will ask, "Is this not the one who was cast down? Is this not the one who was forgotten?" And you will answer with the quiet confidence of one who has been vindicated by the Almighty. You were chosen for this specific time because your shoulders were built to carry the weight of this glory. Do not fear the magnitude of the blessing. Do not shrink back in intimidation when the abundance begins to flow. You were not meant to live in the shadows of just enough. You were created to be a lighthouse of more than enough. The tears you cried over your children, over your marriage, over your purpose, they have been transformed into an oil of anointing that will flow from you to touch everyone in your sphere of influence. You are becoming a distributor of grace. The reward is so large that it cannot be contained within your own life. It will spill over into your community, your family, and your generation. You are the breaking point for the curses of your ancestors and the starting point for a legacy of divine favor. As the delivery arrives, you will notice that your discernment has reached a new level of precision. You will see through the masks of the double-minded. You will feel the frequency of the miraculous before it happens. This is because your tears have washed away the film of worldly distraction from your spiritual eyes. You see now as I see. You love now as I love. The process was painful, yes, but the product is priceless. You are the gold that has come through the furnace. You are the diamond that has survived the pressure. Every person who tried to suppress you was actually serving your development. They were the sandpaper used to smooth your rough edges so that you could reflect my light without distortion. Forgive them, for they were unwitting participants in your promotion. They thought they were burying you, but they didn't know you were a seed. And now, the season of burial is over. The season of breaking through the soil is here. The delivery of your reward is not merely a physical manifest of wealth or health, but a cosmic settling of accounts. You must realize that when you wept in those secret places, you were actually writing a petition in the courts of heaven. Each tear was a line of testimony against the injustice you faced. Every time you were slandered and chose to remain silent, a deposit was made. Every time you were excluded from tables where you deserved a seat, a place was being reserved for you at a much higher table. I am now calling for the ledgers of your life to be balanced. The enemy thought he was draining you, but he was actually increasing the debt that the universe now owes to your spirit. This is why the reward feels so heavy, because it is a cumulative blessing. It is the interest gathered from years of redirected pain. You are moving into a season of divine backpay. Everything that was withheld from you in your 20s, everything that was stolen in your 30s, and every dream that was delayed in your current season is being bundled into a singular package of glory. I am restoring your time. This is perhaps the greatest part of the delivery. You have felt like you wasted years in toxic cycles, in dead-end jobs, or in waiting for people who never showed up for you. But in my kingdom, time is not linear, it is subject to my command. I am compressing the progress of 10 years into the span of one. You will look at your life 12 months from now and wonder how you traveled so far, so fast. It is because the reward includes a divine acceleration. The tears you shed while waiting have been converted into the fuel for your flight. You are not just walking into your future, you are being propelled into it by the very winds that tried to blow you down. The wind that once felt like a hurricane of destruction has become a tailwind of destiny. Chosen one, pay attention to your dreams tonight. The delivery is being announced in the spirit realm before it fully manifests in the natural. You will see symbols of abundance, overflowing fountains, keys to new gates, and garments of white linen. These are not just figments of your imagination, they are the delivery notices from the celestial couriers. I am assigning specific angels to your household to guard the perimeter of your peace. You have lived in a state of high alert for so long, always waiting for the next crisis, always braced for the next blow. But I am telling you today, you can take your armor off for a moment. You can rest. The border of your life is now protected by a fire that the enemy cannot cross. Your reward includes a permanent season of safety. No longer will you have to look over your shoulder to see who is plotting against you. Their arrows will turn to straw before they reach your heart. Their words will fall to the ground like dead leaves. Your physical body is receiving a touch of this reward as well. The cortisol that has flooded your system from years of survival mode is being washed away by the living water of my spirit. I am mending the neural pathways that were scarred by trauma. I am healing the heart that physically ached in your chest during those lonely nights. You will feel a lightness in your bones. You will wake up with a clarity of mind that you haven't felt since childhood. This is the chosen one's renewal. Like the eagle, your youth is being restored. You will have the energy to run the race that is set before you, and you will not grow weary. This vitality is necessary because the territory I am giving you is vast. You cannot manage a kingdom with the energy of a slave. Therefore, I am transforming your very biology to match your new authority. Think back to the moments when you felt most invisible. Perhaps it was at a family gathering where your voice was drowned out, or in a workplace where your ideas were stolen. In those moments, you felt a sting of rejection that led to silent weeping. I want you to know that those were the moments I was marking you. I was separating you from the approval of men so that you would be addicted only to the approval of heaven. Now that you are immune to the opinions of the crowd, I can finally trust you with the platform. Your reward includes a voice that carries weight. When you speak, people will listen, not because you are loud, but because you carry the weight of the wilderness on your words. There is a knowing in your spirit that cannot be taught in schools, it can only be birthed in the dark. The people who watched you struggle will now watch you flourish. This is not for your pride, but for my glory. They need to see that there is a God who remembers the forgotten. They need to see that the last truly can become first. Your life will become a living sermon. You won't even have to preach. Your smile will be the message. Your peace will be the evidence. Your overflow will be the testimony. The reward is being delivered in front of your detractors so that they may know that I have loved you with an everlasting love. I am setting a table for you, and the menu is prepared with the finest blessings of heaven. Do not be afraid of the new. The delivery includes things you have never seen before: new streams of income, new divine connections, new levels of revelation. You may feel a sense of imposter syndrome, wondering if you truly belong in this new atmosphere. Let me settle that for you now. You paid for this in tears. You earned this through endurance. You are not a guest in this blessing. You are the rightful heir. The crown fits your head because your brow was shaped by the thorns of the process. Wear it with humility, but wear it with certainty. As the final pieces of this reward are moved into place, I want you to release the last of your sorrow. Forgive the versions of yourself that didn't know how to survive. Forgive the person you were when you were broken. That person did the best they could with the strength they had. Now, a new version of you is emerging, a version that is not defined by what was lost, but by what has been gained. The tears have stopped falling because the harvest has started rising. The reward is not just coming, it is here. It is knocking at the door of your heart. Open up. Let the light in. Let the abundance flow. Your waiting is over. Your reward is delivered. This is the season where the hidden ones come into the light. 4 years, I kept you in the shadows to protect you from the premature gaze of the world. If you had been revealed too early, the weight of the calling would have crushed you. But now, your character has the density of a diamond. You can handle the heat, the pressure, and the spotlight. The delivery of your reward includes a divine visibility that is shielded from the arrows of envy. You will shine without being consumed. You will lead without being corrupted. This is the mark of the true chosen one, the one who was prepared in the silence and is now announced in the thunder. Look at your hands. They are no longer empty. Even if you cannot see the physical manifestation yet, feel the weight of the authority I have placed in them. Use this authority to speak to the mountains in your path. They will move not because of your strength, but because of the signature of the one who sent you. Your tears have become the ink with which I am writing your new story. It is a story of triumph, a story of restoration, and a story of a reward that was long overdue but arrived exactly on time. You are loved. You are seen. You are rewarded. The season of your silent weeping has officially reached its divine conclusion, and the era of your visible restoration has been inaugurated by the courts of heaven. If you can feel the warmth of this promise breaking the cold chains of your past, do not keep this light hidden under a bushel. Be the messenger of hope for another soul whose pillow is still wet with tears of exhaustion. Share this word with a fellow chosen one who needs to know their reward is on the way. To physically anchor this spiritual turnaround into your life and declare to the universe that you are ready to receive, leave a like on this video as a sacred act of agreement. Finally, seal this prophecy and claim your inheritance by commenting, "My tears are now diamonds," below. Tonight, you shall rest in the deepest peace you have ever known, for the angels of delivery are at your door, and your vindication is now law. You are chosen, you are rewarded, and you are infinitely loved. Amen.